What is going on, y'all? Got Josh here from the Moonlight Adventures and my brother from another mother, the Thenauticruiser, Mike Gormley himself. And man, it's been a while. It's been a long while.
It's been a long while.
You've been overseas. We've been sick.
I feel like it's been at least a year. No, it ain't been that long, but it's been a long time.
It's crazy how long it's been. Been too long. So long that I'm looking at StreamYard here, and it says at last count we had 1,832 subscribers. We're well past that now.
Nice.
So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, welcome in, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate everyone, and I'm not going to belabor this too much, but I appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers while Chastity was in the hospital, and you know, we've both experienced some health issues. Chastity's healthier than I am now, so you know that's great news, and we're happy about that. But for those of y'all that didn't know, she had to have her gallbladder removed because she had a blood infection that was caused by an infected gallbladder. After the 2 surgeries that she needed, she then had double pneumonia, and then, you know, she's on the mend, kinda, and my foot's hurting really bad. But I don't want to say anything because, again, she's on the mend. And I end up with gout. I've never had it before, so I thought I broke my toe. You know, so we just, you know, but we're getting back, and we had to cancel a couple of cruises that we had scheduled with MSC, and you know, just recently was able to get back on it. And you know, we did an 8-day on the Jubilee out of Galveston, and I'm going to tell you what, man. You know, I know a lot of people think that the Moonlight Adventures does not like Carnival. That's not true. I've sailed Carnival with Nauti. Nauti knows I'm not a Carnival hater.
Yeah, not a Carnival hater.
The Jubilee, man,
ain't the favorite cruise line for y'all, but I'm definitely not a hater.
So yeah, I mean, I think MSC is our favorite because we've sailed with them the most recently. But I'm going to tell you what, if I could only sail on the Jubilee the rest of the time in the Eastern and Western Caribbean, I think I'd be okay.
I'm telling you, bro, that Jubilee is where it's at. And listen, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, what about the Mardi Gras and the celebration? It's the same, but like I told you before y'all got on, they're similar, but they're different in their own ways, right? Like there's so much different about that Jubilee that I didn't see on the celebration. And there's so much different on the celebration I didn't see on the Jubilee or the Mardi Gras. But that ship is just, it's just something about that ship, man. I don't know if it's that big star.
So we heard a lot of complaints, and I was a little surprised, but it was generally from older cruisers. I'll just say people that have been with Carnival for a while, and
because they're not
going out of Galveston. Yeah, I mean, going out of Galveston, they like the Dream. You know, those size ships. Not that but I heard a little more complaining than I expected. I'll just say that. And most of the complaints were that it was too big.
Right.
Yeah. And I heard complaints going in that there were a number of choke points, and there are choke points on this ship, but it didn't really affect us. I mean, we were on the 17th deck, which made it a little difficult for us because we had to come down to the Lido to go across, and I'm not complaining. First world problems. It was good. We've navigated the ship just fine, you know, and I'll be the first one to let you know if a ship is tough to navigate, and it was not. And one of the smart things, I don't know, I know you noticed this because you're a big casino guy. They moved the casino out of the main thoroughfare, which is super smart. That was fantastic for the gamblers and for the non-gamblers, both.
Right. The way that casino is set up on the Jubilee, it's set up the same way on the celebration and the Mardi Gras, right? It's the same layout. You know, you can call it cookie cutter, but it's the same layout with that casino, right? So it's a perfect flow format with the newer class ships. And I get the older people, not necessarily the older people, but like the Carnival old heads, the old school people that have been with Carnivals for decades. I understand their complaints. I get it because they don't have that old school Carnival atrium or that old school Carnival feel, that smaller ship feel. But Carnival's moving into a direction now that's more family oriented, family friendly. And a lot of their ships prior to these XL class ships were the same way, but they took it to the next level, right? So you're talking about people complaining. I just got off the Sun Princess. I can tell you, out of every Princess cruise I've been on, that ship is completely different than every other Princess ship I've ever sailed on. And I heard complaints from the loyal to Princess cruisers about how it's different and it's too big and it's this and that. But it's the first Princess ship in the fleet, man, that they catered anything towards kids or family friendly atmosphere. So, you know, with the way the world grows, the way people grow, the way cruising continues to grow. I mean, Carnival's talking about booking out until 2026. Bookings are so strong. So with the way cruising is going now, I believe that these ships are the way to go.
For sure. And, you know, I'm glad you said something about Princess. And, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but, you know, we're on our next podcast. Most likely we're going to talk Sun Princess because we have that book for our 25th anniversary, and we want to get that inside scoop from Big Mike here, who's been on it. But Princess usually leads the way in innovation with cruising, you know, historically. Now, we've seen Royal kind of take that clear stick, but the things that have been done on Sun Princess, crazy unique. And they are going in the direction that Carnival went with its Excel ships, with the large Grand Central area where there's a ton of shows. I mean, I didn't like everything about it, and I'll get into some of the things that I didn't like about the Jubilee, and I'll let you have your piece on that and see how you feel about it. But I'm going to tell you, I mean, me and Chas walked away and we're like, okay, we've got Symphony of the Seas, MSC Seascape and Meraviglia kind of together in Jubilee. And man, we're leaning hard on Jubilee. We really, really, really liked it. Probably the biggest hang up for me is, cruise director was fantastic. So let's just start there, right? So I'm going to go all over the place if we don't get somewhere to start. But Kindle Fire, this was the first time we've been on a Carnival ship where we've had a quote unquote big cruise director. You know, we're familiar with Lee, you know, through Coach Cruise, and we've got some, you know, behind the scenes communication with him through his trying to build his YouTube channel and stuff. Great dude, but never been on a ship with him. Seen a lot of good things. So this was our first time being with one of the big ones. And,
one of the ones that it's followed very frequently.
Man, she works her tail off. She's personable. She's funny. You know, the shows were fantastic. She made the shows that the Love and Marriage, Family Feud, it was done in a unique way that we've never seen it done before that made it great. Even the morning show was good, you know?
Yeah, the Wake show. She does a phenomenal job with the shows, man. What was your impression of that Love and Marriage show, right? Like that was the first time I seen the way they changed it around, how they like make everybody leave and then all that. It was fascinating to see how they did that.
She took a really different approach with it, where it was almost like a talk show more than a game show.
Yeah.
And she brought a lot more out of the contestants, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
And she interacts more. She does more on stage. She's more outgoing, right? And I think that's the one great thing that like I was telling you before the show started, the one thing that I think gravitates people to her the most is not just the fact that she's born in the States, but she's got that outgoing personality. She will sit there and have a conversation with you. If she's got the time, she tries to make time for everybody to have a conversation, but she just has that full of life, energetic, outgoing personality with her. And you can come across some cruise directors, man, where like they got the personality of a wet mop.
Yeah. Well, she also doesn't seem corporate.
Right.
And sometimes she's kind of like, I'm doing this my way. And this is how I'm going to do it. And you can tell that she commands respect from the Fun Squad, which is, you know, I mean, she runs a tight ship for her bunch. And the Fun Squad, we had Coco was part of the Fun Squad. I don't know if you've ever met him or not. Coco sticks out because he was really good, but
that's like even I don't know if you had her. I don't think you did because she got promoted right at the end of the contract. But Gabby, she was part of the Fun Squad. She's now a cruise director, so I look forward to cruising with her because I cruised with her as Fun Squad, And she was under Kendall for so long that you just got a clone of Kendall just in her own way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's tough because, Carnival is that one cruise line that has a deep cruise director following. You really don't see it out there in social media or anything else like that with other cruise lines. You don't see people talk about cruise directors from MSC or Royal Caribbean or all of this stuff, but you always hear about the Carnival cruise directors, right? And the ones that usually stick out are those top people. So I'm glad you got to cruise with one of those cruise directors that left that good impression on you, because I know there's been cruise directors that left negative impressions on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it left negative impressions on me, I know it's left negative impressions on other people. But like I said, man, I think it's because she was born in the good old state of Texas. She's got that good old Southern charm, that energy, that full fire, and that's why they call her Kendall Fire. I mean,
yeah, I mean that ship, it from stern to aft, man, it's Texas. It's and lot of Texas folks, a lot of Southern and Midwestern folks on board the ship. So we loved it. We absolutely loved every bit of it. So let me so I'll talk a little bit about the show. So here's a problem that I had, right? So I know for the inaugural it was a little different because we talked to some people. So if you had status on the inaugural, some of this stuff was different. But now that they've settled in, there's lines for shows. All the shows you want to go into all the shows that you want to go into, the arena, the theater for. If you want to go to comedy, whatever, they have a line, that's one way to do it, right? The other way to do it is the reservation system, and I really wish that Carnival would start a reservation system, because, especially on
So here's the problem, right? Here's the dilemma, and I'll give you a perfect example why. So last year I was on the transatlantic on the Pride, and I was platinum. I don't think Scott was platinum at the time, but I was platinum. And when we would check in for dinner, it would take forever for the reservations. But a couple we were cruising with were diamond. They would check in after us, and then they would get their reservation right away. The problem I think they're going to have with that reservation process of checking in is all the people that are up there in status, whether it's diamond or platinum.
Yeah.
I think they're going to fill that void quicker. So I think that's why they're not leading in that direction, right? So from all I can remember, on all the big ships I've been on, there was always lines for everything. And if you didn't get there in enough time, you weren't seeing it. That's just the way it was,
I can see it both ways, but the one thing that it also prevents, though, is people going and seeing the shows twice. You can prevent that. And then if there's open seating, you can always go in, but at least if you try to reserve it, you're not going to get it. And it was fine in the big theater, Jubilee Theater. I don't think there was ever any issue with getting a seat, but they ended up. We had a fantastic set of comedians. There were 6 comedians, either 5 or 6. I think it was 6 comedians that were on this ship in total.
Nice.
And they put the family in the limelight, which I think is good. I think it's good to have 3 shows of PG and 3 shows of R-rated. But the punchliner, plenty of room, not as big as most punchliners, but it's set up well. And then the limelight is really tight and small.
Right.
So that's where I was like, at least for those 2 theaters, it was a little tough. But I say that, and me and Chastity, we saw all the shows we wanted to see and didn't have any problems. Well, I just didn't like standing in line. First world problem. Right? I don't like standing in line.
And the thing with me is, like, every time I've sailed on the XL class, man, I've never had a problem anywhere other than center stage. Like, center stage was the place that was the hardest place to get a seat in the house, because if you're on that first level, anything past like row 7 or 8, you're under the awnings right above you. So if it's an aerial show, you're not seeing anything. So if you're not there to get a seat early, or you're not on the upper decks to watch everything, you're not going to get a good experience with the show. So that's the only, like, one of the downfalls that I have with them ships, is that the way they have that center stage set up.
Here's a pro tip for you cruisers, though. be considerate of others and move to the center. If everybody would, and you don't, I hate walking in, especially in the smaller areas, and everybody takes up the seats except for the one on the end. And I'm like, it's like you guys are just trying to create a buffer. Look, we all got to get, we used to say in the art, love you, buddy, get to know you, buddy. Like, just squeeze on in there.
My favorite saying is get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Like I will sit down. I don't care who you are. I will sit down next to your 80-year-old grandma if I need a seat to watch a show, and that's the only seat that's available. You better hope Granny didn't and her depends, because I'm gonna sit next to her to watch the show. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm the first one to tell you, like, hey, I don't really save seats. I'm not gonna lie, I do ask my cruising companions to save seats if I'm a little preoccupied with something. I'll tell Scott, yo, bro, save me a seat. But he'll save me a seat. He won't save 8, 10, 12 seats.
Yeah.
Okay. And Scott's quick to tell you, yo, if you ain't here before it starts, I'm not saving your seat. I'll give it up.
Yeah. No, I mean, it works both ways. And, I'm picking because there wasn't a lot. Guys barbecue still sucks.
Still trash.
I'm giving up. I'm never again going to try it. I'm over it.
Don't, because I didn't tell nobody this, but on the Glory, and you know what? You can give up, guys, because it's not even guys barbecue on the Glory. It's like a no frills brand. And I don't know who it was. I sent somebody up there while we were on the Glory, and I was like, I don't know why I'm going to try it, but just get me some beans. Bro, the best cooked beans I've had on a Carnival ship to date. Soft, flavor was on point. It was all on point. And it wasn't even a guy's barbecue place. It was just literally barbecue. That's all the sign said, barbecue. So I was that guy giving up on the barbecue on the ships. But I can tell you, those beans on the Glory, they were good.
I mean, I'm a barbecue snob, I mean, look, if you tell me it's barbecue and I put it in my mouth and it tastes like it came out of a crock pot and there's no smoke, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like it's over. This is not barbecue. This is something resembling it, but stop trying to tell me this is barbecue.
Yeah. It's not no smokehouse barbecue.
Yeah. This is, I mean, we used to make crock pot barbecue down in Georgia, but we didn't call it pit barbecue.
But you didn't call it pit barbecue. Right. Exactly. That's the thing. You didn't call it smoky pit barbecue, and it's tough, right? Because you got to figure it out. And it's a cruise ship at the end of the day, right? Like this ain't barbecue pit on the side of the road where they got big old piles of oak. And it was adequate. I mean, it's as close as they can get it. I wouldn't go there if you're craving barbecue and you're like absolutely want some caramelized, crispy, burnt ends that have nothing but fat back meldiness in your mouth. But if you want to go and get some chopped brisket that you're going to smother up some barbecue sauce, it'll be sufficient.
I mean, it's not like we left it there and got up and didn't eat it. I mean, we ate it.
You still ate it. It's edible. It's not that it's not inedible. Yeah. And I'll tell you, dude, there's times where I've gotten barbecue from guys and it's been inedible. I got brisket on the Vista and it was like chewing shoe leather. Yeah. So, it's hit or miss sometimes. But
do I wish I would have went to Chibang instead? Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Chibang was on it.
100%. Chibang's my restaurant.
New favorite specialty dining, Chibang. It was awesome.
Yeah, Chibang. It was awesome. And I'm going to say I grew up. They only came out with 3 ships. I was already growing up at that point. I came through the XL class ships when Chibang was 100% free across the board every time you went.
Yeah.
There was never no additional upcharge or all that. So that shows you what inflation has done over the course of the last 3 years since the restart, 2 years since the restart. Chibang went from being completely free 7 days a week of the cruise to once on a cruise, and now you got a reservation this, reservation that.
Yeah.
Listen, it happened. But Chibang is the place. Chibang's the one place I'll go. I'll order 10 orders of lettuce wraps, man. Them lettuce wraps they got there are banging.
Yeah, it was
PF Chang a run for their money.
It was PF Chang's. I'd rather go eat at I'd rather go eat at the local buffet, man, than PF Chang's. That's just my opinion.
But you can't find lettuce wraps at the local buffet, man.
Hey,
I'm a big
that's right.
lettuce wrap guy. PF
Just make
Chang's
the
like
lettuce
the only
wraps,
place you can
man.
get them. Yeah,
We
I'm
make them
lazy.
ourselves. Get you some lettuce wraps. Go over to the Korean market and get you some bean paste. You're in good shape.
Yeah, man, I'm lazy, bro. It's after work, kids, and all that stuff. Man, I'm good.
Yeah, but Chibang was impressive. I had their mole chicken, and that mole sent me into the atmosphere. I was like,
Mole heaven.
"Oh my Lord, I can taste the chocolate. I can taste all these spices."
Did you say holy mole?
Ole mole for sure, man. It was flat out amazing. Can't remember if Chastity had sesame chicken or orange chicken, but no, she had broccoli beef, I think, and I think I had like an orange chicken. It was our first night, so I'm drawing blanks on some of this, and we'll have to go back and research. But what I do remember is it was all good. Every bit of it was good. It was great.
Chibang is awesome because I don't know if you've ever had it on like other ships, but they have Mongolian wok during the day for like lunch. It's like a noodle bar. Chibang is like the place for that noodle bar at lunchtime. But now with this ship being, a Texas through and through ship, right? We're talking about Stern, Texas. Did you go and try those new sandwiches at the Carnival Deli? Like that pulled pork sandwich and all they had there?
So we didn't. The only sandwich we tried was, and you'll love me for this, is the cheesesteak. So I went Philly all the way. We went on the and that cheesesteak was fantastic. It was so good.
Yeah, listen, it's good, but Carnival, take the peppers out of the damn sandwich. We don't put those in cheesesteaks up north. That's not a Philly thing. If you got a connection up Philly and they told you to put peppers in it, they lied. They're either from New York or somewhere out in Amish country, Pennsylvania. We don't put peppers in a cheesesteak. Get rid of the damn peppers, Carnival.
You're a mustard with tomato sauce and
no
cheese whiz.
No. Listen, this is a Philly cheesesteak. Okay, when you go to Philly and you order a Philly cheesesteak, if you want the original Philly cheesesteak, it's a whiz wit. That's it. That means whiz cheese with fried onions. That is a Philly cheesesteak. That's how if you go to Pat's, you go to Geno's, you go to Tony Luke's. If you go to Jim's, I can give you some great places in the city of Philly that you'd probably be scared to go to, but they're amazing places to go eat. If you're going to get a cheesesteak, it's whiz wit. If you're not in Philly and you want to try and get it as close as you can, you go with American cheese and fried onions. We don't put peppers in our cheesesteaks. We don't put mushrooms in our cheesesteaks. Now, we allow you to do that. If you want to do that, that is fine. But don't call it a Philly cheesesteak.
Don't call it a Philly
cheesesteak. Is whiz wit. That is it. That's it.
Hey, the pizza, and I like that. I like the way they did it. So, and I don't know how they handled the pizza when you were on there, but the way they handled the pizza for the evening pizza, the one that everybody wants to soak up the alcohol, you had the line, but the way that they did the line is they would just come through there with pizzas, and they're like, would you like pepperoni? Would you like cheese? Like, instead of having everybody waiting, they just came through with pizzas, and you grabbed whatever you wanted.
They didn't do that, and you're the first person I've ever heard talk about that. But I can remember on the Mardi Gras, the celebration, and the Jubilee that at nighttime after leaving the casino at like 2, 3 in the morning, the pizza joint, the line would be all the way back to Guys Pick and Anchor. Like, it would be ridiculously long. And I'd be like, okay, it's great pizza, Carnival, fantastic job, but I am not standing in that long line.
Now, we did, so I don't know if you saw the video that the Cruise Nuts did. Chastity she drank quite a bit when we were at Sancho's. I did too, but she was in rare form. So when we got back, we both kind of wanted to take a nap and sleep it off. And I said, well, we should probably get a pizza and soak some of this up, right? So we've never done room service, but we decided to do it this time. So I got her Sprite and got her some pizza, and Carnival is serving right now Korean steak. Oh my Lord, that is so good.
So worth the additional money.
Oh, it's the best.
that pizza.
I would take one right now if I could get my hands on one.
Listen, the steak is so tender and it's
Yeah.
seasoned to perfection. I lie to you not. I tried it on the Vista back in February. I got both of them. I got the teriyaki and I got the Korean barbecue. And that Korean barbecue pizza was fire.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
order it every day.
I would take one right
every
now
day.
if I could get it. Yeah, so that was fantastic. So I want to stay on the food. So we didn't do the steakhouse this time. We did do cucina. Cucina was fantastic. No complaints on cucina whatsoever.
Always been Italian food way better than Olive Garden. I'm just gonna say that right now. That's
but winner on the ship.
Italy
winner chicken dinner, pun intended. Shaq's Big Chicken, baby. Hey, I did not think you could outdo Chick-fil-A. Jesus, don't strike me down because I know I'm talking about your chicken. But my goodness, and the fries are a game changer.
The fries alone is what got me to go to Shaq so much. As the fries. The chicken's great, but them French fries in that Shaq sauce, bro.
Shaq sauce, baby.
I'm telling you, them fries are the best.
Oh, it was so good. We're going to have a vlog coming out. Chastity and I, we ate the entire menu. So we ate all the lunch and dinner options, and we ate all the breakfast options. That honey biscuit and then the key is, pro tip, if you get the chicken biscuit in the morning, on those honey biscuits, have them put it into the Nashville hot Chipotle honey, and then put it in. Oh,
now see, I gotta disagree because I think their biscuits are trash. I think they're hockey pucks, man. They are hockey pucks.
No, these were soft, man. These were soft.
And this is every time I've had Big Chicken, bro. It's always been a brick biscuit. It's always been a rock. And everybody I know that's had it with me, it's always been a brick. Now we're talking Mardi Gras celebration Jubilee. We're talking 3 ships now.
Yeah.
I've never got a good biscuit, but I can tell you that Uncle Jerome sandwich, boy, that make you want to turn around and slap your mama.
You know, so the big Aristotle.
That's another good one
with the bacon on it.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, we had some great meals. MDR was on fire. You know, like I usually complain about the Carnival MDR. I usually have something to complain about. Nothing. I mean, I even went ahead and tried a steak, and the steak was good. The lobster tails were good.
If you noticed when you were on the ship, right? Like you noticed they started putting your orders in on cell phones now.
Yeah.
So they don't write down your order. They don't do anything like that. They changed with that ship. They changed the whole ordering program with the Jubilee when they rolled it out. So I think they're going to start putting that on all Carnival ships from here on out. Everything gets done on that phone. So it's a lot easier for them to put your orders in and not mess it up is easy, right? And it's instant. It's already getting to the kitchen. So when they put that order in on the phone, it's already sent to the kitchen. So by the time they go down there, they're able to get your food that's already ready to roll, and it's still hot when it gets to you. That's one good thing I like about it. And I know we don't read the chat, but I know V put in there, like with the whole pizza thing, everything's electronic. If they would come through the line instead of handing out pizzas and just with one of those mobile phones and just bang, bang, bang orders through, I think that would make it move so much faster too.
Learn from Disney World, man. You know, I mean, that Disney World mobile ordering where you can go and you just pick it right up when it tells you when it's ready.
I wouldn't even learn from Disneyland. I learned from Chick-fil-A drive-thru. I mean, when's the last time you went to Chick-fil-A and actually talked to the speaker in the drive-thru?
How many times have you rolled up into Chick-fil-A and you're like, man, this is going to take forever. 2 minutes later, you got a chicken sandwich in your hand.
Yeah. And it's because they got 8 to 10 people out there taking orders and dishing out orders. So if they would have went with the handheld devices through that line, I think that would have moved a little bit quicker. I like the idea of them walking through with the pizzas, but here's my thing, right? Listen, we're humans. A lot of humans, unfortunately, do not care about personal hygiene. They don't care about covering their coughs. They don't care about covering their sneezes. So the last thing I want is somebody walking with open plates of pizza and somebody coughs malaria all over my pepperoni. I don't be served pepperoni with malaria. I mean, come on, man.
Now, when they did this, though, let me clarify. They had it chained or not roped off. So the guys that were coming by and handing the pizzas out, there was 3 foot of distance. I mean, but you could still have somebody.
Yeah, but you know what they said, right? When that whole COVID thing was around, they wanted you to keep 6 feet of distance. So
6 feet.
I mean, and it's the little things, right? Like at 3 o'clock in the morning, half loaded, just left the casino after dumping a few grand. I don't think I'm going to be worried about somebody coughing all over my pizza. But in this state of mind, as we're having a conversation, the first thing I think of is somebody coughing malaria all over my pepperoni.
Yeah, the casino setup. Now that you brought up, love the casino setup. We didn't really spend much time in there. We don't gamble a lot. I know you have experience with it, but I do like that they had a smoking side and a non-smoking side. I think that was good. It looked like the smoking side might have been a little smaller. Which
smoking
I don't.
Side is a little bit smaller on the XL class ships. And the reason it feels that way is because they have an additional room on the back of the non-smoking side that leads you in towards the Limelight lounge area.
Yeah.
But I like the way Carnival is doing it on the XL class ships is you can be in that non-smoking casino and not smell smoke, and you can be in the smoking side of the casino and still only smell a little bit of smoke. They have a great ventilation system on them ships.
Yeah.
They really upgraded that ventilation system on the XL class ships. But I like how they keep it 90% separated. And I say 90% separated because once you get up to that casino bar, if you're looking towards the cashier's cage, right, which is facing forward, like if you're walking towards the theater, and your casino bar's on your right, that left side of Banks, that's all non-smoking.
Yeah.
And then starting at the casino bar over is all smoking section. So it's definitely a smaller smoking section. But I mean, you look at other cruise lines, right? Like you look at MSC. MSC now has what's called the smoker's box. That's what everyone's calling it. It's a smoker's box. The big casino is all non-smoking, and now they have a little casino room that's smoking.
Yeah. But MSC also has the smokers lounge, which I like because you can go in there and get you a cigar, and they'll wait on you while you're in there, and I like that.
Now, see, with that smokers lounge, did they allow cigarette or vaping?
Yes. Yeah, they did.
See, now Princess with Churchill's, they only allow cigar smoking.
Oh, really?
Norwegian, they only allow cigar smoking. So you got some cruise lines that only allow cigar smoking in the cigar lounges and not cigarette smoke or vape smoke or whatever it may be, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you get a lot of people that want to see smoking get banned from the casino, and I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. No,
I mean, what are you going in there for?
You're going in there to spend money. First off, it's a room on a cruise ship for degenerates like me to go sit down, have some drinks, and throw money at the cruise lines, and they know that. So if I'm a smoker, they are not going to kick me out of that casino and say, "Hey, we don't want smokers in here no more. You got to be." I highly doubt I will ever see a Carnival ship, or I don't even want to say MSC either, because they still have a room for smokers on the ship. I don't think I'll ever see a 100% smoke-free casino anywhere.
Well, and just because I think we may see in our lifetimes an end to cigarette smoking, maybe. I think it might be more our children's life, but vaping's not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, vaping's not going to go anywhere.
So,
and it's
you
sad,
still
right?
got
It's like Kurt and Marshall were talking about this on their morning show the other day. And I have an issue on the cruise ship because I smell more marijuana smoke than I do cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
So they got to start enforcing certain things, and they got to enforce the things that they want to enforce. And if you're not going to enforce the marijuana smoke, you're not going to enforce the cigarette smoke. People just need to be respectable to other people. Like, I'm not going to go in the non-smoking section and sit down and vape and smoke in the non-smoking section. I don't expect a non-smoker to come into the smoking section and go, "I was here first, he shouldn't be smoking." Man, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, you're in the smoking section.
Still America, man. Still America.
We all just need to get along and have a good time and win money, hopefully not lose money. But enough with the smoking, man. So what was your favorite venue on the Jubilee? Like your favorite venue? whether it was the theater, whether it was Heroes Lounge. I know with you being military and all that, that's holds a special place for y'all.
Yeah, so you might hang out in the Heroes Lounge, but I did see it. But that patio area was excellent. The summer landing, so from the sandwiches and pizzas all the way back, the marina bar, that whole area, we really liked it. We liked the pool out there, was amazing, a lot of room. And one of the things I like is the board games, the kind of, so there's the shuffleboard, the shuffleboard,
the cornhole,
foosball, all that stuff being there. And you've got an awesome bar there at Guys. It kind of felt like you were in a local pub just there on the ship, and I thought it had a really cool vibe. Really liked that. As far as the theaters go, I would like to see more of the bigger shows be in the central stage. I mean, maybe that's just me. I know, talk about the old heads, right? The old heads like to go to the theater. I understand. But that central stage is such a fantastic area.
It's a great area. It's just not done well. Yeah. Like, when I tell you it's not done well, it's just not, man. Because going on the Sun Princess, they kind of built something somewhat similar, right? Like, they're sister ships. You can see the similarities, but you can see the differences. And what they did on that ship is they had it in a complete circle. Yeah. So you get that low seating, and then you get that high seating and high seating, but it goes around in a complete circle. With the Jubilee, the Mardi Gras, the celebration, if you're on the lower level, man, like I said earlier, you get past 6-7 rows, you're not seeing anything.
Yeah.
The overhang is just there. It kills the whole view of everything. And they put on some amazing shows there that do some aerial stuff, man. Some great aerial performances that if you're in them back rows, you're missing out on so much.
Yeah, it's tough. And we sat for the Rio show up on the top level. I think it's the 8th. Is it the 8th deck? And they had like some grandstand seating up there that was padded. We're like, well, this will work. So we got up there, and unfortunately, like when the singers come out on that peninsula-like stage that comes out, you couldn't see because they put it would have been fine if they would have moved those grandstand seats up closer, but they're about 3 feet away from the glass, which is there's probably some standard that says that they can't be any closer than that. Right. But if it was closer, and I'm picking at things, right? Because it's not a lot that I can complain about. Currents, the currents area.
That's my favorite section.
So cool. Dr. Inks. When they did the aquarium thing during the day, we FaceTimed with our grandson and let him build a fish. And I don't know if you did this or not, or if anybody in the chat knows about this, but when they have the change of currents aquarium going on, you go in there, you can build your own fish, and it jumps up into the currents and it goes swimming along.
And you'll see it swimming along.
So that's cool.
A lot of people don't know about that, man, because of where they have it positioned at. But you can go just outside of the Alchemy Bar. They have a tablet, and you can go and do all this right outside of the Alchemy Bar. I highly suggest it. It's an awesome interaction. It's a cool thing to see when they do the change of the currents, and it's just an awesome part of the ship, right? So you can find Dr. Ink's PhD bar there, the Golden Mermaid's right around the corner. Yep. You have Emeralds right there. You have the Carnival Kitchen right in the back area. But it is just an awesome area, and I love the way they did it on this ship. The Emeralds is on the opposite side, so all the seating is where Emeralds used to be on the other side, and it's just set up perfect. But Dr. Ink and the Golden Mermaid were my absolute favorite bars on that ship. Just the way they got Dr. Ink's PhD set up is just an awesome little bar.
Yeah, and I was surprised that it overtook Alchemy Bar as our new favorite bar. The drinks that they've got at Dr. Ink's is just off the charts. They're good and they're unique, and it's not just the Instagram unique. They actually taste good too. So yeah, we really, really enjoyed Dr. Ink's. The Ultimate Playground Bolt was awesome.
Nice.
Definitely worth the $15. Now, would I pay to go do it over and over and over again? Probably not. But it was awesome.
No, but it's worth that one-time experience, right?
Is,
like
for sure.
You did it, you enjoyed it. And I tell people all the time, like, you gotta think about what is gonna make you happy in that moment, right? Is $15 gonna make you happy, or is experiencing 60 miles an hour on a roller coaster out in the middle of the ocean gonna make you happy? Because for that $15, it might be 30 seconds of excitement, but it's 30 seconds of thrill, man, and it's worth that $15.
100% worth it. The ropes course, I couldn't get Chastity talked into doing the ropes course, but I got up there. It was awesome. They have this one little plank that you walk out onto, and when you get out to the end of it, it drops a little bit, and you're over the ocean, and it drops. And even though you're hooked up, it's still scary.
It still gives you that little race in the heart, man.
It's got the little zip line that goes. So, like, if you're standing here on the ship or here, shoot, let me get it zips out, like you're out over the ocean on this zip line. And it was awesome. Those two things by themselves, really good. The cornhole tables being out, all that kind of stuff. They didn't do anything unique with Goonie golf, putt, but doesn't bother me, but whatever.
But it's still a neat little course that they got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fine. It's if that's your thing, I'm not complaining.
If it's windy, have fun. The ball flies all over the place. It gets frustrating.
But the Lido design,
golf balls, they're just plastic little ping pong balls, man, and they blow all over the place.
The design of the Lido and the way that the 3 decks are built up is amazing. Coolest Lido deck that we've been on, and we were almost at full capacity. I'd say it's probably at 95%. And the deck party for sail away, it was crowded. Like, we went back and looked at the pictures and we're like, holy crap, it was crowded. But everybody had room, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Now imagine that on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Bro, it was lit. It was a party out there, dude. It was lit out there New Year's Eve.
It's so well designed where everyone can get a look, everyone can party, everyone can have fun. So Lido area, they did a nice job. The 2 deck, Red Frog Tiki, hats off, great job. We really love the design of the Lido area. Probably our favorite spot though is that humongous Serenity deck.
Yeah.
Oh man, you could always find a spot on the Serenity. Serenity deck pool is the place to be on a sea day.
Even on a port day.
That
Serenity area is just phenomenal. The way my favorite thing about the Serenity there is not just the pool, but how the seating sinks into the ground. Next to the pool. Like, it puts you down there, and it's
beds,
great, right? Because the beds are bigger than what they are on other ships.
I've never seen king size beds to lounge on. It's amazing.
It's a great feeling, right? Like, knowing that that's an adults only area. And I don't know if you noticed this or not, but when I was on, we had kids trying to get there, and they were nope, out. Gotta go. Gotta see it. They were policing it very well when I was on there.
Oh yeah.
And they came around, they made sure that people were there with their stuff. If you weren't, they were snatching your belongings up, and they were opening up the day beds. But it was nice, man. That Serenity on them XL class ships is phenomenal. The way they did it was phenomenal.
Did you try the salad bar when you were on there?
Of course. Yes, sir.
We came back, and now we're looking for the 30-ounce bowls now.
Yeah, the big old bowls for the house.
The big bowls. And it's not your normal run-of-the-mill salad stuff, man. I mean, you can throw some shrimp on there, some grilled chicken. Yeah. It was good. You can
build yourself a salad that's going to fill you as a meal. But if
Carnival
you can
has
find those 30-ounce bowls,
dressing.
man, get yourself one of those. Go to the Korean market or the Asian market. Grab yourself a ramen bowl.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Big old ramen bowl. That's what I used.
Did you get to check out the Loft 19 area at all when you were on there?
I got to check it out, but I couldn't film it.
Yeah,
so we got a little bit. That was the only downfall.
Yeah, we filmed a little bit of it. I don't know if we were supposed to or not, but we did. But it's actually a good deal if you have a group, because if you want it on a C day for $500, you can rent a cabana up there and have access to all of it. Of course, if you have a presidential suite or an Excel suite, it comes with it.
Comes with it.
But $500 a day on a C day and everything that's included in that, I don't think that's a bad price.
So, in the beginning, I would say you're crazy. That's ridiculous. $500 on a sea day. But I'm getting ready to go on the Utopia of the Seas in July, and for me to rent a cabana at Perfect Day at Coco Cay is over $1,000. I'm like, what? $1,000 to rent a cabana? Bro, I didn't even pay that much for a cruise. I'm not going to pay you $1,000 to rent a cabana.
Yeah, no, I mean, but it's not a per person charge either. So if you have a group, and that's why I don't know that I would do it myself. But like if it was us and my in-laws and the kids,
but
I'd easily bust it,
Do they have no? See, so they don't have a capacity, right? Because Loft 19 it's individual parties per day.
Yeah.
So you're not up there with anybody else. You're literally just the one sole party that's up there.
And you're really, I mean, it's not like it's nice, it's luxurious. You're really paying to be waited on, is what you're paying for.
You're waiting on that personal connection.
Yeah. But it was nice. That whole part of the ship was nice. And we also had a spa room. And there's a secret elevator to get, and we were just lucky enough. Our room was like one door away from the secret elevator. So, we jump in there and go down
to the spa,
right into the thermal suite.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thermal suite was, so we've been spoiled because Meraviglia has the largest thermal suite at sea. And then we went on the Seascape. But this one was good. My only real complaint, our only real complaint about the whole thing was the whirlpool. There's just a few jets, and we talked to some people that were on there. Good. Yeah, but I mean the aroma spa, the salt spa, all that stuff was good. When we went in there almost every day. The lounge chairs, the heated lounge chairs were really good. We enjoyed it.
Good if you use it, right? So yeah. Now, for those of you who are listening and don't know this, but when you get a spa room, when you book a spa room, right, that's included. Like you get access to that at no additional charge. Now you can purchase the thermal spa passes on majority of the cruise ships that have it, but the kicker is if you purchase it, are you going to use it?
Yeah,
I can tell you, I've purchased it on a cruise and I didn't use it a single day. And then Carnival refunded me my money because I didn't use it. Now, if it came with the room, I probably would use it a lot more. I don't know why I didn't use it. Don't ask me. I just didn't. But I think I would use it a lot more if it was a perk of my cabin.
Yeah, it's nice on the, especially on recovery days. It's like, and my knees really been giving me fits. I had to go get a cortisone shot before we went on this cruise because it was just locking up on me. So it was nice to go down there and soak and I don't know, something about I turned 42 next Monday, so it's starting to get old, getting a little more gray in the beard. But it was a nice. I don't know that I would pop money on the thermal spa itself, but I would definitely get another spa room if that makes sense.
Right.
And the spa room had a few bells and whistles that are unique to it. And you also got a courtesy do-it-yourself scrub kit that they sent us home with that was nice. You get the robes and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the rooms. The room was nice. We had an interior, but they've done some unique things with the shower doors, the glass shower doors. But the way they open up, you have plenty of room inside the shower. Right. Tons of storage, USB charging. They did this ship right for sure.
Yeah, they did, and that's a good thing, because if you look at like some of the older class ships, the way they were built a lot with that European style, that European flair. So you have a lot of European outlets. This ship, man, you got a ton of U.S. power.
Yeah.
A ton of U.S. power. And I'm telling you, they're doing better because the Sun Princess, bro, the U.S. power on that ship was fire. I'm talking
The Ira
USB-C, USB, regular power, power next to the bed. Like, we're talking good power with that ship. So, but that's not what this is about, man. It's about the Jubilee. And they did, man. They did. Like I tell everybody, right? They asked me because I've been on all three. They tried something new with the Mardi Gras. They ironed out some kinks with the celebration. And then they finally hit the nail on the head with the Jubilee. I think they got it perfect. There might be a few things they need to tweak with the next XL ship, but they pretty much got it figured out at this point, man.
No, it's a beautiful ship. Again, we've got a list of some things that we did and didn't like. The list of things we didn't like is pretty small. We had to dig for things. There's some things that we feel like were just okay. But I mean,
the things you didn't like were things you could live with, right?
Yeah. I think our biggest complaint, and look, Galveston was awesome. We love Galveston, but sailing out of Galveston is a pain. If you're out of state.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It's a pain.
I'm sorry. Listen, I know all my peoples that live in Texas. I still love y'all. But let me let you know a little secret. I don't want to spend 45 minutes getting from my hotel on a shuttle that's going 3 blocks in traffic. I also don't want to stand in line for an hour and 5 minutes outside trying to get through a terminal that has better air conditioning than it has in previous years. But it's a hassle to get through Galveston, man. And the city is great. Don't get me wrong. I loved my time when I was there. I stayed at the Harbor House, so I had an awesome view of the ship when she came in, and it was a great place to stay. But the traffic is like taking LA and New York and combining them together and dropping them in small town USA. It was horrible.
The Strand was, I don't know if you've ever been to the Strand in Galveston, but we love that. And then we hit the spot 2 days in a row. We went to the poop deck, which is, that's an interesting place. You should go do it at least once. It's like stepping back into the 70s. I mean, the bartenders are smoking cigarettes one right after the other, and they let birds fly into the bar. They feed them crackers. I mean, it's like, it's like where am I at right now? There's a cigarette machine in the corner, like it still works. But yeah, I mean, the Strand is like a mini, more family friendly version of New Orleans in a way. We really we enjoyed it. We found a couple of good places down there to eat and drink. But again,
it's going to get better there. It's going to get better. Royal Caribbean's got that new terminal there, so I know it's a little bit better over there for the Royal Caribbean people. MSC is currently, I don't know if they're building it out yet or anything like that, but they currently have a property on where they're going to be putting their new terminal. It's the old Del Monte, shipping zone over there. So they got a spot for their terminal. Hopefully over the next couple of years, it gets a little bit better in Galveston. It's not going to stop me from going to Galveston and cruising.
No, not at all.
That's for sure.
No.
It's just, it's those little things that you take for granted when you go somewhere different, right? Like cruising out of California, it's going to be a nightmare getting to and from Long Beach and all that from LAX or whatever. But there's one way in and one way out of Galveston Island. That's it. So you're bound to get held up and hemmed up.
Yeah, so we got down there essentially 2 days before. So we had a full day in Galveston, and then we boarded the next day. So we came in around dinner time the first day, then we had a full day, then we boarded the next day. That's really the way to do it, because folks that were on the Facebook group that were getting on the Jubilee, a lot of them, they were starting to stress because they were stuck on the bridge, that choke point,
to get into Galveston.
and we're in the Uber and
already on there. And that's what I did, right? So the day I flew in, we ended up staying in Houston that night because I ended up getting in late. I think it was like 11 o'clock at night I got in. And then in the morning we went around, did some stuff, and then me and Cameron called an Uber. Or no, we used Galveston saltwater moms. That's who we used. They brought us into Galveston. We went to the hotel for the day right next door. Went to Katie's for dinner. Right to the ship the next morning. But we did the shuttle. And if I knew it was that close, I would have just walked, bro. It was only like 3 blocks from my hotel. It was not far. It took me longer to get there in the shuttle than it would have with using my feet.
I don't think you can walk right now unless you go across the street and come up. So there's some construction, I guess, where they're finishing out or beginning to work on the MSC terminal maybe. But speaking of the terminal, Carnival did a great job getting us on there. I mean, it was bang, bang, bang. We got on.
Yeah, once you get into the building, it's quick. It's getting into the building that makes it horrendous.
I say bang, bang, bang. I got special treatment. So they singled me out and I had to go get the extra inspection. But other than that, it was bang, bang, bang. And that's not a fault of Carnival. That's the security team that's there. So, but yeah, they had to go through all my carry-on bags, which, whatever, that's fine. I try not to get too upset about those things because, it's a necessary evil.
Right.
And I understand that. Kind of cool though, going out of Galveston. So we're in the river, making our way out, and the Dream is pulling out right behind us. So, we got some pictures of the Dream snaking behind us, and then we get out to the open ocean and it's right there. And, that was awesome.
Out of the bay there was awesome, man. I loved the sunset when I was there. The sunset was pretty epic.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, man. All in all, I had a great experience on the Jubilee. I had a great experience sailing out of Galveston. I flew in the Hobby. I don't know what airport you flew into.
We flew in the Hobby. Yeah.
I flew in the Hobby. It's the better airport. If you're listening to this and you're going to Galveston,
yes,
fly into Hobby. It's a little bit closer. It's not so much in that Houston traffic build up there. And it's a little bit better for you, cost effective too. So Hobby is where I flew into. And like I said, man, I came in late at night. I stayed at a hotel right there in Houston for the night and then got up the next morning and went on down to Galveston. But all in all, man, it was a good experience. I'm actually, yesterday and today, I was actually looking into the booking the Jubilee again in the very, very, very.
You know what?
We're talking.
I mean, if
4 or 5 months.
If you want to sell on a new state-of-the-art ship, one of the big ships that everybody's talking about, that everybody wants to get on, and you don't want to go bankrupt, and you don't want to bankrupt yourself getting on there, and you want to have just as good a time. And the cool thing about this ship too that I have to mention
the Margaritaville at Sea Islander. No,
yeah, but it's a huge ship, but it feels like you're on a mid-sized ship.
Yeah, and that's the kicker, right? Like that's what gets me with the Carnival Loyal. Like they complain about the ship being too big. I don't think it is.
No, I felt like I was on the Magic or something, size-wise. We never, so like on Symphony, I felt like we killed ourselves to get around the ship. I didn't have that feeling on this ship at all.
Man, you're scaring me, bro. I'm going on the Wonder of the Seas, or not the Wonder of the Seas. I'm going on the Utopia in July.
No, I mean, look, it's fine. And some of it could have been that we were wet behind the ears and new to the big ship thing, and we were just trying to get to all of it.
You ain't telling me nothing. I don't know, bro. This is my first Royal Caribbean cruise in July.
Yeah, but I just feel like the Oasis class, which is great. You're going to love it. You're going to love the Oasis class. So I think for us, it's a battle between the Symphony and the Jubilee. But this ship, to me, was as easy to get around as the MSC Meraviglia, which is saying a lot because the Meraviglia is
super simple,
one of the easiest ships to navigate ever. And it felt like it was the size of the Meraviglia. However, this is a ship that has a capacity of 6,400 passengers.
Yeah.
So
get this, right? Like you talk about the passenger capacity, right? So the Sun Princess that I just got off of is the same size ship in comparison, but only holds a little over 4,000 passengers.
When?
That means, right? So much more space, passenger to space.
It also means this, though. It also means this.
It does.
But you pay. I mean, you get your money's worth though in a Princess cruise. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you are paying a premium for a premium cruise.
Right. You pay a premium dollar for a premium product, and that's what is delivered 24/7. So
yeah.
Don't let that deter you, man. Princess is great, and you can get some great deals with Princess. But It's just it's mind blowing how you look at some things, man. Like you got one cruise line that's squeezing the most passengers on the ship as possible, and you got another one that's building a ship same size that's putting less passengers on the ship.
All right, man. Well, it's time to start closing this thing out. It's fun as always. I think the next time the plan will be to talk some Princess for sure. And I'm going to be like a new customer, looking. So, we'll be bringing
that'll
that
be
thing
your first
back.
Princess cruise, right?
It will be. And I'm sure it's going to blow us away, but it sounds like we need to also understand that if we go on a different Princess cruise, it could be dramatically different from what we experienced.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, we'll talk about that another day. We can have a private conversation on that too. But I can tell you, out of every Princess cruise I've been on, I've enjoyed the last one just as much as I will enjoy the next one, and the service has always been on point and par. So,
yeah, I mean, we've had people question us about the glory because we didn't give it a glaring, hey, it was fantastic, but we loved the cruise. We'd book it again, but I'm going to be honest with you, it had issues compared to other ships we've been on.
I can tell you right now, I love the Glory now than I did in October.
I'm sure.
Out of dry dock, it was so much better.
Yeah, and that's what I told everybody that asked. They're like, well, what about, I don't know if I should book it. And I'm like, well, go on over to Thenauticruiser, check out his vlogs, because he just come back on it on the transatlantic. It come out of dry dock. He may have some updates for you that we didn't have in October, and it sounds like you do. So
yeah, it's worth the book, man. It's they did a lot of stuff: new carpets in rooms, night lights in cabins, new furniture, new lights, new USB port lights, and not only that, dude. Like balconies were redone, brand new balcony doors were put in, all new railings were put in around the ship. So there's definitely a ton of work that went into this ship in that dry dock. And it gave it that facelift that it ultimately needed, right? Like you still have your classic things, like the Cinnabar still looks the same, and the club still looks the same, and this still looks the same. But there were so many other things that were upgraded that made that ship just look so much better. And it wasn't just no makeup that was put on; it was like a complete rehaul facelift, and they made it look great. So
I mean that ship's probably got 5 or 10 more years of life in it.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's finish this thing up. We appreciate you guys. We have some content coming out here soon, but we're probably not going to be going live for a little while longer unless you see us here on peer-to-peer travel chats, because Chas and I, we're just trying to get our schedule right and working on ourselves getting healthy. My man over here to your right, what do you got going on coming up, man? Let the people know.
Just dropped the video today, 36 hours in Rome, so be sure to check that out. Dropped it as a premiere, so that came out tonight. I got another one coming out next week, Mykonos, Greece. I will be live tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Every Thursday, you can catch me live. Be sure to follow along with the community tab. If I don't go live, I will put a post out there. And I got an upcoming cruise in a few short weeks, and I'm not telling you what it is. You're just going to have to find out when it comes to it, and that's pretty much it.
If you have not followed us on Spotify yet, please do so. It helps us out a lot. And get on the bandwagon, because when this thing takes off, you'll be like, man, I was watching them back in season 1, season 2. So don't miss out. But we are the peer-to-peer travel chats. Josh from the Moonlight Adventures, my man,
Mike,
Big Mike,
the Nauticruiser, or Mike, the Nauticruiser, not from the Nauticruiser.
The Nauticruiser.
The Nauticruiser.
We are out, guys.
Peace.